Most people think improving their communication is about learning how to articulate their thoughts more clearly and confidently. But after 15 years as a communication coach, I've learned that how you think you sound and how you actually sound to others are two very different things. And there are 10 speaking habits that are creating this gap. And I'm going to walk you through all 10 in order of how much they cost you professionally. And I'm going to show you the exact behavior you should replace those bad ones with, so you can close the gap between how you think you sound versus how you actually sound and come across. So let's start with number 10. And it's still blurry because I'm not going to reveal it just yet. I want you to see if you can actually spot what number 10 is through this example.
Andy, I've got a cup of coffee. Do you want it?
Did you manage to work it out? Number 10 is using non-words and filler words. When you see someone who talks like this, their speech littered with non-words and filler words, what are some words that come to your mind? What do you perceive about them? You're going to think they're shy, you're going to think they're awkward, low levels of confidence, they're not competent. Can you see how much this simple non-functional behavior is costing you? This is one of the first things I get our students to minimize immediately when they join us in our stage programs. When you speak like this, it sounds like you're all over the place. It seems like you're a scatterbrain, and there's no clarity in your speech. To reduce the non-words and filler words, well, what do you replace it with? What I just did. A pause. That's it. That's what you replace it with. Every time you feel the urge to say, just pause. Let me show you how powerful this one change is with one of my students. Have a look at this.
So throughout medical school, I've always wanted to be a physician. So, looking after your heart, lungs, I just went to the wards and...
You're filling a lot of the silence with the ums, ahs and a so. No so's, ahs or ums. And very conscious of replacing the ums and the ahs and the so's with silence.
I went into medical school thinking that I've always wanted to just help humanity, save lives, do big changes. Little did I know that it's not all about saving lives in that life and death. It's about changing quality of life.
Big round of applause.
How much better did she sound? Full of confidence and authority. Now, next, number 9. Trailing off at the end of your sentences. This is when you start your sentences strong like this, but then after you continue to talk for a while, your voice starts to lose its energy and you become really croaky.
And then by the end of it, you start to sound like a villain who is trying to take over the world.
Do you hear that drop? That's called vocal fry, and it's more common than you think. Your brain doesn't even register you're doing it because most people don't think about how they're speaking. They only focus on what they're saying. So what do you replace this bad habit with, Vin? You give every single word in the sentence the same amount of breath and energy that you give to the very first word. Same fuel from start to finish. You start your sentences strong like this, and as you continue, make sure every single word has the same amount of breath and energy right till the very last word. Did you notice the difference? Did you feel the difference? Did you hear the difference? That's the line between a communicator who holds your attention all the way through the thought and the one who loses you halfway without even realizing. Now, the next habit. This one is the equivalent of handing someone a beautifully wrapped gift and then whispering, it's probably not what you wanted and it's probably shit, right before they open the gift. Number 8, apologizing for your own ideas. I see this in almost every single person who's early in their career. They devalue their own ideas before the other person has the chance to hear it with a phrase like, sorry, just a quick question. It's probably a bad idea, but I want to say, I might be wrong about this, but And what you've done without realizing is you've told the listener that you don't truly fully believe in yourself. You've given them permission to just dismiss you before you've even shared the idea. These verbal flinches are called softeners, and they show up most when we feel like we haven't earned the right to speak. The problem is, the softener becomes the first thing the listener hears, so your ideas walk into the room already limping. The replacement? It's simple. Get rid of the apology. Remove the I think. And if the idea is worth saying, say it clean. Direct, statements, no softeners. Have a look at the difference. I might be wrong about this, but I think maybe we should kind of try to post more content on social media because, you know, it will help the world become better communicators. I don't know. What do you think? My suggestion is we need to post more content across our social media because it will help the world become better communicators. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Vin on the left sounds weak, unsure, whereas Vin on the right sounded more assertive and firm. Which one do you think is more influential? Pretty obvious, right? On to number 7. Rushing when you get nervous. This happens to all of us. We speak in front of people, we get nervous, and because of this, we unconsciously talk faster. Because we just want to get it over and done with. And in this moment, you think speeding up will make everything better, but in actual reality, it does the opposite. It makes you sound worse. Let me play you something that will just drive this point home. Oh my goodness, that sounds so bad. It sounds like a car crash. What you just heard was one of the most beautiful piano pieces ever written by Chopin. Played at 2 times speed, 3 times speed. Every note was correct, but your brain registered it as a bloody car crash. Now here's what the piece sounds like when it's given room to breathe. So much nicer. It's the same notes, but a completely different experience. And the difference is exactly what rushing does to your communication when you're nervous. Everything you actually wanted the listener to feel gets lost in the speed. You might be saying all the right things, but they are going to receive it in the wrong way. The fix? It's counterintuitive. When you get nervous, your body's going to naturally want to speed up. So in that moment when you notice it happen, you have to go against it by slowing down. And when you do this, it gives your brain more time to think clearly. Take some more deep breaths and give your words more space. Add more pauses. And suddenly it signals to your nervous system that you're safe, which calms you down. The moment I just did it, don't you immediately feel more calm too? So the benefit of doing this is that it calms you and it calms everybody else in your environment. And I really want you to pay attention to how you feel when someone else is speaking fast versus when they slow down and get nervous. Let me show you a real example with one of my students. Check this out.
What I should be trying to do is try to make the world a better place. I don't have to be a law intern at PwC or Ashurst or whichever, you know.
When we're nervous, the first thing we do is we increase our rate of speech. And we speak quickly because we just want this to be over and done with, so then we keep talking and we just keep pacing through, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing that I did.
So my parents, they grew up in China, and it became a real way of thinking that was fully focused on academic performance and exterior perceptions of success.
Pause. Big round of applause for that. Good. Now, when you went slower, did you feel a bit more relaxed?
100%.
Okay. So a slow rate of speech not only makes other people relaxed, it relaxes you.